The Yakuza series has finally ditched that pesky Western moniker and joined its actual Japanese titles in continuity and consistency. Of course, I'm referring to the monthish old Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. But have no fear, if you are a fan of Ryuga Gotoku's Studios series, you're going to eat very well. Infinite Wealth is easily the best Yakuza or Like a Dragon game we've had released in its long running series, as well as a wonderful turn based RPG to boot. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Importantly, Infinite Wealth is more of the same, but just more and better. The seriousness and gravitas that the main story of each title in the series is still present, although occasionally interjected by the goofiness and the power of friendship, of course. Well, that's more of a sometimes a Goro thing, and then definitely John's party and friends. But this is definitely one of the better stories RPG has told through its protagonist's eyes. And of course, in Like a Dragon, you take control of Ichibal's. I mean Ichiban once more, and his weird schizophrenic view on the world where everyone transforms into various monsters known as Sujimon, and he is allowed to transform into heroes based on their jobs. And I'm glad they just definitely needed the silliness once. New classes for the party as well, that thematically fit into the new location. This is the first time RPG has set the game outside of Japan, and what a wonderful location and idea to boot. While the overall gameplay structure remains the same, you are exploring Honolulu on foot via your new Segway, or taking a taxi from location to location. It's a welcome change from the armpit of Tokyo, the Kamurocho district. You will revisit Kamurocho, though, occasionally, as Kiryu to help round up and finish off some of those loose ends of his saga, which was a nice change from the typical gameplay pace. Overall, Hawaii is a fantastic location for the series and one of its largest changes ever, aside from the transition to a turn-based RPG. Within Honolulu is also a new infinite dungeon for your crew to explore in a roguelike setting, with ever-changing layouts, rewards, increasing difficulty, which was a complete blast, as well as new and rare Sujimon to find, light, and collect, as well as weapons or crafting ingredients to increase your party's power. I did mention Sujimon, and they are obviously returning, with Sujimon Sensei deciding to take a trip to Hawaii, homeland for Sujimon or something, as well as to lead Ichiban on his little vengeance tour against the Discreet Four, the Sujimon version of the Elite Four. These are elite Sujimon trainers in Honolulu. There's now a Sujimon Gacha system, which pokes fun at the mobile gacha games. Though don't worry, this isn't, a popular Genshin Impact, and you purchase draws with the in-game currency, now dollars, or tickets you find at various Sujimon stops. There's also Sujimon raids you can participate in, by groups of difficult challenges with your Sujimon team. And there's also just straight-on Sujimon trainer battles. And of course, you do these to take on them, the Discreet Four, which ultimately, by completing this little mini game side quest thing, you do unlock a new class of Ichiban, being the Sujimon Master, and it is one of the more ridiculous and ludicrous jobs or fighting styles or anything RGG has put into one of their titles before. This is an extremely fleshed out minigame, definitely one of the more fleshed out minigames I've seen in any modern games ever, and definitely worth running through to at least try out the new Java OS. And while we're on the subject of these sort of mini-games, multiple other ones return. You do have your classics returning, such as karaoke with your group, you do have darts returning, you have from Like a Dragon, you have your additional coursework for different leveling up things and rewards as well, so you can't go back to night school, except here in Hawaii. They do have other really new ones as well. Crazy Delivery, which is ultimately just Crazy Taxi mixed with Uber Eats. You are delivering food on a bicycle, doing tricks, collecting food items on the road, dodging cars, and delivering the items to people who want them. It is a really fun minigame, and it's really great when you're looking at this thing and you're seeing that you have earned $75,000 on your delivery trips for the minigame, and then you're paid out like $5. It really hits home, probably really hits home, close to home for the people who actually run Uber Eats. The largest one, the largest new addition and minigame is definitely Dodoko Island. If you ever wanted some Animal Crossing in your Yakuza game, or your Like a Dragon game, this is straight up just Like a Dragon Animal Crossing, of course, with some mixes on it. Dodoko Island was a former fancy resort island that is now covered in trash and in ill repair. The Washbucklers, dastardly group of waste management people, terrible company, has polluted the island to keep it as a dumping ground for the waste that they collected elsewhere. It's up to you to return the island to its former glory by building it up with new furniture, new buildings, new attractions to get more visitors to the island. Just check out the island and return it to its former glory. There's plenty of other things to do as well. Mismatch, a little dating minigame based off of the plethora of dating apps we have available to us on our phones, replaces the Hostess Clubs, since Hostess Clubs aren't actually a thing in the US. That was a great little addition. There's just a ton of minigames and other content to do in this. There's fishing minigames, numerous side quests to do, side missions, side stories, sub-stories, all over the place. And these, of course, much like other Like a Dragon titles, just range in seriousness. You have one where you are helping an elderly man try to find a suitable replacement for falling snow so that his dying wife can once again see falling snow, since she can no longer travel and can't leave Honolulu. To something more serious, such as, or not serious, less serious, such as your pet crayfish Nancy finding true love in another crustacean, a hermit crab. And the importance of doing all of these sub-stories is they, of course, unlock more people you can call up in the Talonmates service. This was the ridiculous summoning ability from Like a Dragon, and it has returned here in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And absolutely worth it. It's just the Hawaii version of it. You unlock it a little bit into the story when you're doing a main story quest, and there's a little mixed case of identity between the first pound mate you unlock and a main story character you are chasing down. But there's just plenty of content here, and it's in ridiculous quantities. Ultimately, Infinite Wealth is just a title that's really hard to keep a straight, planned out review of. It's a title that I extremely love. There wasn't many things I had issues with in it.
Charge complete.
If you come across any Sujimon fights, just, normal running around fights that you vastly leveled for, you could immediately get them right away. The intros and outros, there could have been time saved there between these fights, but the fighting overall wasn't improved, so that's something I was willing to take the time with. The game overall is just fantastic. It is fantastic, and it's hard for me to keep my points in order when talking about a game that I really, really do like, or a game that I really, really wanted to like, which has happened with prior titles I've done a review on. Another thing I want to point out, though, is that this game works amazingly on Steam. A large portion of the game from Chapter 6 on, I ended up playing on my Steam Deck. Life got busy, didn't have access to my computer a lot of that time, new puppy, some job stuff, wasn't at home a ton, and it ran fantastic on my Steam Deck. And even at home at a certain point, I just continued playing it on my Steam Deck. I stayed away from my PC for that time period because I was like, well, I can just sit down on the couch and play some Infinite Wealth. And There were zero issues with performance on it. Albeit you are playing on a smaller screen, graphical fidelity will be lower, but that's not the point here. The point is that it is fully compatible with the Steam Deck, and it was running fine in anywhere from 30 to 60 hertz on that screen. And so, yeah, as a whole, Infinite Wealth is just a fantastic title in the Like a Dragon Yakuza series. Overall, this is a much shorter review by me, but honestly, I do have a lot of stuff I'm trying to play right now, and a briefer review for a title like this seemed to make kind of sense, even though the game itself is very massive and over the top. Ultimately, if you liked Yakuza Like a Dragon, or if you've liked the Like a Dragon series as a whole, absolutely check it out. You probably already are. If you like turn-based RPGs, check it out. You're going to love it. It is one of the most competent modern-day turn-based RPGs that is absolutely bonkers, and it's just wild to think about how this works, because the main character just fantasizes, this is what's happening, and that is what's happening. If you want your money's worth in a long game with plenty of content that really does respect your time, outside of Sega's weird locking New Game Plus behind a collector's edition purchase, then this game is for you. All the content in here is fantastic. You're going to love it. And like I said, another major selling point is that if you're a gamer on the go, and you're a PC gamer on the go with a Steam Deck, it works wonderfully on it. I had zero issues. Of course, you do want to keep it plugged in if you can, or plug it in and charge up your Steam Deck as you go, because its native battery isn't the best, but you're going to have no issues with it on Steam Deck. I wish I had an OLED to see how much better it looked and see if I can eke out a little bit more performance and increase the graphical fidelity of it a little bit by little bit, but that's not the case for me. Ultimately, if you're a fan of the Like a Dragon series, you're just looking for a great turn-based RPG. If you like getting your money's worth for a game, or if you want to play this on the go on a handheld PC, such as the Steam Deck or ROG Ally, or any of the other numerous ones that are out there, definitely pick up Infinite Wealth. It is worth your time. It is worth the playthrough. It is an absolute bonkers ride.